Hey there, Jerry Shapper at the Bug Doctor with PestCemetery.com, out in my garage, as I'm frequent to do, just goofing around, tooling around, coming up with ideas how to better do my job, which is pest control. I was inspired today by a fellow pest cemeterian, Aaron from Phoenix Pest Control, where pest control is done right, as he says. A cute little problem-solving idea. He had some wasps that were at an odd angle they had to get, and all he had was a can of aerosol. He was at church, so this was probably in the glove department or something like that. Well, it's got this straight straw, and what he needed to do was attack it from an angle, being at church, not having all his equipment. So he simply came up with this idea. You've got your aerosol can that normally just shoots straight. However, his idea, which I think is ingenious, is just to take another cap, place it at the end of the straw, and here you go. Give it a spin. See that? You can go at a right angle. I thought that was great, and he was able to shoot them. They were in a downspout, and he was able to do it safely. Awesome idea, something for you to consider in a pinch, or shoot, even during normal course of action. Why not? You can also find that sometimes the smaller caps off of smaller aerosols will work and maybe allow you to get into a tighter space. Those others are pretty big. This one's just off of an old aerosol can in my garage. Same thing. And I could probably get into like I said, a smaller void or something like that. One idea that I have that people seem to be astonished with, for whatever reason, is WD-40 came out with these ingenious caps. They're called smart caps. And one problem with the bug guy is we run around and we've got our caps and straws. We must carry like 100 of them on the truck at any one time because we're always losing them. We put them in our belt, and somewhere along the line this gets snagged on something or becomes loose, and you go to grab your injector straw, your injector tip, and do something, and you don't have the straw, so you've got to go and dig one out or back to the truck, or maybe it's you've got a spare in your service belt. But anyhow, I hated losing those things all the time. So when I saw that the WD-40 guys came out with this straw called the Smart Cap, I saw that it worked perfectly on aerosols. The neat thing about it is that tucks straight down. You can still shoot straight. I'm going to quit spraying because this is CB80 and it makes me sneeze. You can shoot straight or put it out when you're ready for service, but then tuck it away, goes neatly in the belt. You'll never lose another straw. Love that idea. I've got another 2 ideas for you. Again, just out in my garage doing my thing. I don't know if you've ever seen these before. The Big T made them years ago. They're called Insiders. And we'll see if we can get that to focus. Anyway, what this does is gets inserted into a wall, and then your aerosol or injector tip fits neatly inside, and you can spray safely into a wall void. Pretty ingenious idea. They've since stopped making them, so this tip is a good tip for someone like me. I happen to have a couple hundred of these things laying around, but for others, you might have to get inventive and invent something. What I really wanted to show, and we'll see if we can get it right. If you can see how the end is kind of like got little flaps, and they bend in when in service, and when you pull it out they bend out to protect the void. Well, anyhow, have you ever used magnetic roach gel? It's a bait, and it's an awesome bait for American roaches. Some of your bigger roaches works really well. The problem with that is it keeps dripping. Now, I don't have any to show you. However, I wanted to show you how you could use this insider to solve the problem of dripping. What I've done is cut mine right to the last little flange. Those things hold it into the wall. Then simply take an injector tip from your favorite gel, jam it up in there. And this won't leak like the magnetic gel does. However, I'll show you how this works. A little cumbersome maybe. Not too bad though. Comes right out of the tip. See that? Nice little. And then it's no more dripping. Once you're done, you'd wipe it. Once you've got it in there, and no more dripping. And it comes out, you know, it's a little tougher to push, but anyhow, that stops the dripping because of those little flaps, I guess you call it. So if you can get your hands on an insider, and you love that magnetic roach gel, Harry S. Bryan, who works for Nisus, who makes that or owns that, might be a good idea for them. I will only charge 5% commission. Another idea I have is I love my gun and I love my little injector tips. They're wonderful, but sometimes I need to reach further. There are other products, there are other guns out there where you can do that, and it's about yay long, and it's wonderful. It's a great deal. However, what I've done is taken my tip and basically cut about just the last little nub off. Maybe that's a 1/16 of an inch. I don't know if you can see. That kind of hard to line up. You can see the difference, okay? And then what I've done is simply taken an injector straw from an aerosol can, put it up inside there, and it fits really, really tight. If you cut too far down, it's just going to go through. You're going to need another one. But fortunately, we have about, what, 1 million of these sitting around in our shop in our trucks. So at that point, you've got yourself good 3 or 4 more extra inches. And really flexible. You can jam it into a nice tight cracker crevice. And this comes out. You could also bend it to go around the corner, and I want to see if I can get some to see that. Nice little drip. And boom, you're done. And that can help you get into the back of some cabinets. The downfall with doing this, and you don't have to use the gun, it'll work with the other. The downfall is storage. You know, I can't fit this right back into my gun, so you have to take it off and then keep one of these handy dandy caps so it doesn't dry out. And I suppose drying out is also a problem. Soak it in a soapy pan of water or something like that, and that should clean it out. If not, again, you've got like 400 of these things sitting around at any one time. Looks pretty professional, and like I said, it's flexible, so you can actually inject it into a wall even further than what you maybe used to. Some of those up underneath the sink situations where it's really hard, or you jam it up and it'll bend to get to you know, those corners where all the woodwork is and everything, real hard to bait. So just another little tip, something that works really well. Won't be permanent, won't be forever, but you've got all of those tips laying around. They work really well. Pick some up, play with it, make it your own. And hey, thanks Aaron Veal for the great tip on the aerosol and going around the corner. I love that. And hopefully these other tips on the baiting and the other aerosol cap for the WD-40 is something you can use. Hey, this has been Jerry Shepard, the Bug Doctor with PestCemetery.com. See ya.